Can tell us about that as the Ag Commissioner. In the house, it's Andy Gipson. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Paul.
How did that turn out?
Oh, it was great. Hannah did a fantastic job. She's got a really bright future.
I think so.
We're going to get her back at the Dixie National Rodeo and sing the national anthem for us.
That is great. A little synopsis before we get into the medical marijuana thing here. What's the analysis of the first expo, that big expo there?
Oh, it was a great success, and I have a really big announcement about it. I can't make today, but it was such a success. We've already rebooked the event for next year, and some perhaps additional events even before then. So
when are you going to make those announcements?
Oh, in the next probably in the next month or so. Yeah. Right now we're focused on the state fair, getting everything lined up for that, and we are having it. We've got some great events coming, like bull riding and a rodeo, a tri-state rodeo coming to the state fair, and we'll be getting some information out about that in September.
What would you change? I know because this is the first time. There's always things that you would change. Was there anything that you would change or do differently next time? Because you had a chance to have a test run now.
Yeah, I think one thing that we will change is we had a free admission for children, for young people on Friday, and that happens to be when kids are going back to school. I think we'll change that from Friday to either, probably Sunday, I would think would be a better day for that.
Great idea.
And get more young people there. That's the whole purpose of this, growing the base, getting more people involved in hunting and fishing, because kids that are involved in hunting and fishing stay out of trouble, stay off of drugs, and stay out of jail.
Let me say this. I thought the new facilities were absolutely incredible. And
thank you. We're very proud of it.
The parking lot was full.
It was full.
You could have used that was chained off from the old building.
We're paving it today.
Yeah,
it's taken too long to get the engineers to move on that, but we're paving that old trademark area today, so we will double our parking, make it much more convenient, and we're really excited about the fairgrounds.
There was one thing that I was going to mention to it. I was going to do it off the air, but I'll do it on the air because I'll forget. There was a lot of activities going on outside.
Yeah.
We took the grandkid to, the son-in-law and I, and she had a wonderful time on the trampoline.
Yeah.
And as hot as it was, and tents were back there, but unless we had parked back there, we never know it was there.
Yeah.
There was a small sign.
Yeah.
But it just needed more attention somewhere. Maybe a big screen showing the cam back there was going on or something.
That's a great idea.
We just needed people. Some kids may never have known that opportunity was back
It's
there.
a 105-acre campus. We put up our first directional signage yesterday. I don't think there's ever been any at the fairgrounds, but we're doing that to help people know where things are. People who haven't been. A lot of people came to the expo that had never been to the fairgrounds since we've done the renovation. So, when you do anything new, you've got to let people know about it, and we will.
Well, it was a tremendous success.
Yeah.
Got your information yesterday as far as the AG is concerned, and tell me a little bit about this and the reason for that.
Well, let me back up and say, when Initiative 65 was put on the ballot and people voted for it, the Department of Agriculture had absolutely nothing to do with it. And for some reason, there are folks in the legislature, and they're my friends, and we're going to be friends when the dust settles here. But they have decided to expand the role of government in this process and to bring the Mississippi Department of Agriculture into it to license growers and processors of marijuana. And as a result, I was asked to do research on it. I have done that research. I was asked to meet with other states that have done this program. I have done that. In fact, I've met with my colleagues, other ag commissioners who've gotten involved in this in some other states. And they all say to me, "You don't want anything to do with this. It is a crisis. It is it has caused the departments of agriculture in those states to be overwhelmed and to distract themselves from their primary mission, which is to support the farmers." And that is our mission at the Department of Agriculture and Commerce. In addition to that, I provided information to the legislature about what it would cost to run a program like this. Millions of dollars, lots of people to be hired. So for whatever reason, I don't think it's everybody in the legislature, but some members of the legislature have decided that they want me, the Department of Agriculture and Commerce, involved in the marijuana business, and I have politely asked to be left out of it. Up to this point, I've not really gotten a good response from anybody, a clear response on where that stands, although I heard on the radio this week that we're still in the Senate bill anyway. Yeah. So I've done my own research, and I have some very serious, not only practical concerns, but I have some very serious legal concerns.
Well, I want to talk about the legal concerns, but
I don't think anybody's looked at.
And you researched that as an attorney. I'm sure you have some merit for that.
I do.
I want to go back to this, though. It would seem to me, whether you want it or not, it's the most logical place to put it. Well, as far as the oversight of the growing part of that.
Not when you consider that the seed is illegal. It's illegal to come into the state of Mississippi.
But if next month the feds change that, then that's a whole
different question. That's an entirely different question. If the feds decide to legalize it, we have an entirely different question. Mm-hmm. But what they're asking the Department of Agriculture to do is to license something that is illegal under federal law. It would be the equivalent of giving a state license to commit federal wire fraud or securities fraud or to lie on your taxes. And that, you just can't do that. I'm sorry.
But that said, every segment of state government and all states' governments are breaking the law.
Well, if they do that, if they will be breaking the law, and
federal law.
Federal law.
Yeah.
Here's my point. This is a drug. It's not an agricultural product. Mm-hmm. Agriculture is the production of food, fiber, and shelter. It is a drug as it is a plant. The seed is considered a Schedule I controlled substance. It is illegal to ship into the state of Mississippi. It's illegal to process.
Yeah.
And it would be, even if they pass this law, and what I'm saying is we do a good job at the Department of Agriculture representing our farmers. Our farm groups do not want this program under the Department of Agriculture. We got to stay focused on supporting our farmers and agriculture, legal agriculture, and not this illegal substance that they're asking me basically to bless, and I'm not ready to do that.
Have the bills you've seen and the people you talk to, from my understanding, will not permit outside growth. You have to have it indoors in the first place. So how many farmers are going to be participating?
Well, we'll talk about the farmers, but it's illegal for farmers to participate if they want to get USDA crop insurance or disaster payments or otherwise be participating in the Farm Service Agency programs. Under federal law, they can't do it. Agriculture, you grow something out of the dirt, and you have food, fiber, and shelter as a result. This product, as I've talked and met with ag commissioners around the country, it is grown in warehouses. It's grown under purple lights, and it doesn't even touch the dirt because this particular plant absorbs toxic chemicals out of the soil, which, when you're using that for human purposes, is not a good thing. It's not FDA approved. It's illegal for it to be banked, for a bank to touch it, for insurance to touch it, even for pharmacies to touch it because it's in violation of federal law.
I cannot imagine how the feds so far, and certainly the Biden administration hasn't already done this, and maybe because they got other things going on, but it seems like they're going to have to address this sooner or later.
They are, and there's a lot of unanswered questions, and until I get those questions answered, and maybe the legislature can answer those questions. Maybe the attorneys who are drafting this bill can answer some, but I've got a lot on this Attorney General's request that I've put together.
I want to talk to you after we come back from the break, but I do want to ask you this. Have you talked to people like Alabama that have set up their own cannabis board?
Yes.
You talked to them?
I have talked to them, and they highly recommend, and I recommend it to the legislature. If you're going to do this, let's form a very specific entity with experts on it to address these issues. Because it is a drug issue. It is a medical issue, not an agriculture. So they formed an independent commission. The governor has appointees, the lieutenant governor, the speaker. The commissioner of agriculture has appointees on that commission. In the same way we have a gaming commission and a lottery commission.
I understand.
It's a specific purpose entity.
But if chairs of appropriation, the lieutenant governor or the speaker or the governor come up and say, well, Andy, come on, man. This is going to cost us a hell of a lot more. Why should we put all of these people in there?
It won't cost anymore. It'll cost less because the way they've drafted the bill now, they have the Department of Ag doing a portion of it, Department of Health doing a portion of it, and they can combine those costs and have efficiencies by having just one entity doing it.
So you're saying take the Department of Health out of it also?
I'm not speaking for the Department of Health, but I don't think Dr. Dobbs and his team, who are doing a great job trying to navigate this public health crisis in this state right now, I don't think they need to be saddled with this issue either.
Is that the way it is with the Cannabis Board as far as Alabama's concerned?
concerned, yes, the health department has the appointees on it, and law enforcement and other experts. And so it's geared specifically to the issue of medical marijuana, not these other tangential issues.
I had yesterday Kevin Blackwell on, Chairman Blackwell. I'm a little amazed at the lack of reticence about expanding this and thinking out of the box. And I've got a feeling there are some people in the Senate would go straight over to recreational marijuana if they had a chance.
There absolutely are, and that's where this is headed. That's where it's headed.
It is a little bit amazing. More with the Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce. We were talking during the break here of you got a lot of state officials when you have this juxtaposition between what is law, what's not law, what is against the law, but look the other way. I know in this state, we and I've talked to Shad White. He's one of the guys that says, I'm not going to look the other way. And it's caused a lot of consternation, but I think basically you're saying the same thing.
I will not look the other way. All these ag commissioners that have got this in the other state, they say, look, we know this isn't legal, but we're just doing what the legislature told us. I took an oath to faithfully support the constitutions of the United States and the state of Mississippi and to obey the laws thereof. And I'm not willing to violate my oath. Now, they may find somebody else who is, but I'm not going to do it until these questions are answered legally. I'm not allowed to license this stuff.
Let me get down to the seed itself, because that's where it all starts. Yeah. So how do you justify getting the seed in the state to plant the whatever the cultivars are as far as the marijuana plant is concerned?
Well, that's going to be the first question on whatever form needs to be developed, is how does it get here? Other than immaculate conception, there's no way for this plant to just arrive in the state of Mississippi and somehow be sanctioned as legal, because the United States Code says it is a Schedule I controlled substance, and I'm quoting here from the law. All parts of the plant, whether growing or not, the seeds thereof, the resin extracted, every compound, manufacture, salt, derivative, mixture, or preparation of it, plant seeds, or resin, is illegal. So when it hits interstate commerce, which we are the Agriculture and Commerce Commission, and I've talked with the Commissioner of Public Safety about this, I've talked with the DEA about this, I've talked to federal law experts about it. Show me how it gets here legally to even establish a crop in the first place. Somebody show me that and convince me of that. Maybe the legislature can answer that question in the law that they're working on.
So anybody who ships seed to the state of Mississippi are breaking the law?
Yeah, you cannot get this product here to start growing it without breaking federal law.
Will you, if nothing changes, will you enforce that, or can you enforce that, or is it up to another authority to do it?
I've asked to be left out of this.
But if you're not,
I'm going to enforce the law.
What's the consequences?
I took an oath to uphold the law.
I know that. What's the not your consequences?
I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
What are the consequences for the people who do this? Is what I'm asking.
Well, they can go to jail. Let me give you this. Any farmer who grows it, this is in the United States Code 21 U.S.C. There are minimum penalties. For 50 or more plants, you get 5 to 40 years. 100 or more plants, 10 years to life in prison. For 1,000 or more plants. And with regard to agriculture, specifically agricultural production, which is what the Department of Agriculture does, 21 U.S.C. 889 specifically says that any person who is planting, cultivating, growing, producing, harvesting, or storing a controlled substance in any crop year is ineligible to participate in any federal United States Department of Agriculture programs, including crop insurance, disaster payments, or any other federal program.
If you have 6 plants of marijuana in your home and you have guns in your home, I don't understand how that works, because it's still a federally prohibited plant.
Anybody in possession or using illegal drugs, Schedule I controlled drugs, is ineligible to possess a firearm under federal law. You couldn't get a
hunting or for protection
hunting
or
or fishing. You couldn't even buy a gun. You couldn't even possess a gun. You couldn't go hunting or fishing, even if the state legislature passes this law. So, look, I spent 12 years in the Mississippi legislature drafting drug policy as chairman of the Judiciary B Committee. I was chairman of Jud B before there was a drug policy committee in the legislature. I know what I'm talking about. And this is an issue. Compromise is part of the legislative process, but there are some things that are just wrong. And what is happening in this particular process is, like 30-something other states, they're asking state officials to look the other way, and I'm not willing to do that.
What do you want the Attorney General to, as far as the opinion? The opinion on what? Is it illegal from that standpoint?
Here's my question. I've asked. If the Mississippi legislature were to enact and the governor were to sign into state law a medical marijuana program, how would it be legal under the federal act to truck, ship, deliver, manufacture, distribute, or dispense any part of the cannabis seed or plant as a Schedule I substance into the state of Mississippi? Because there's no federal exception for medical marijuana, it would appear that the arrival of marijuana seed, plants, or other parts through whatever channels of interstate commerce into the state would result in one or more violations of the provisions of the Act against manufacture, distribution, dispensing of the Schedule I substance. And I put all that in the letter. So,
from your many years of experience as far as judiciary is concerned, what's the weight of that opinion, one way or the other, as far as the Attorney General on the legislature?
I'm not sure the Attorney General can answer this question because it's a matter of federal law. Again, it is. We don't have a state law yet, so to look at. When we get that, we'll take another look. But I think this is a question of pure federal law and in the role of the states who are basically, circumventing it or going around it. But it's a question nobody else is asked. And I'm just asking, how does it get here legally without breaking the law? How do you get it here? Somebody tell me that.
Let me set this in the right perspective here. Your objection is first and foremost that the Ag Department is not the place for this.
Correct.
Because long-term it would be injurious to the duties and the mission of the Ag Department.
Yeah.
Not so much secondary as the right or wrong as far as the marijuana industry.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't want to be the cannabis commissioner. And I didn't run for that. The people didn't elect me for that. I'm the agriculture. This is a narcotics issue. It should be a MBN or some other special agency.
If you do not get that wish and they make you do this, would this be a situation where you would decide not to run for office?
No, I will enforce the law as it is today.
As it is today. But I'm saying if a bill passes and the Ag Commissioner has to do this under the guidance of a law signed by the governor when it passes through the procedure in the Ag Department, regardless of who's there now or in the future, you will be responsible for this. Would this be one of the reasons you would look at it and say, I'm not going to do it and I'm not going to run for office again?
No, we will receive, if they do it, we'll receive applications. We will review those applications, and we'll be asking the same question I'm asking today. How does it get here without breaking federal law?
What's your thoughts on the part of the bill that Kevin Blackwell thought was a great idea of people being able to grow marijuana in their homes up to a limit of 6 plants?
I think it's a horrible idea. I think, look, I have seen families destroyed by this drug. I've seen young people's future derailed and deterred and lives destroyed. And I think that this is really part of a move at the federal level, and the Biden administration is on board with this to legalize marijuana across the board and to normalize it. Look, I believe, even though the FDA has not approved this particular substance, I believe there probably is some relief that can be given to people in need of pain relief and so forth. Yeah. But as of today, it's illegal to do that. Let me give you, Congress is determined, and I quote here, under Section 812 of the Act, the Federal Act, that this drug or substance has a high potential for abuse. And I quote, the drug or substance has no currently accepted medical use in the treatment in the United States. And thirdly, there is a lack of accepted safety for use of the drug under medical supervision. Yeah. These are issues that the Ag Department is not equipped to address. I'm not sure the Health Department is.
Let me do this. Almost out of time here, but I want to ask you this. If you're looking at this, you're also looking at what you will need, who you will need, and I'm not sure how many people we're talking about, but how do you'd have to start from scratch on this thing.
Yeah.
Do you bring in experts on this, and where do you get the experts who know the different cultivars, what the potency is, what the growing needs to be, when something is not acceptable? There's a lot of things that you have to know because this is something that's going into the bodies of the people in the state of Mississippi.
I think that's why Alabama got it right when they formed this commission of experts. They had their first meeting last month. Yep. I think we need to look across our boundary over there, see what Alabama's doing, and take a some guidance from them. It's the right way to do it. This requires a lot of research and a lot of expertise.
If these things don't fall in place and you still have the same objection, would you consider filing some type of lawsuit or some type of with any courts? I'm not sure who it would be.
Yes, sir.
You would be.
I've already got it written. Yeah.
Whoa. Andy Gipson, thank you, sir, as always. Appreciate it. From the Commissioner of Mississippi Department of Agriculture and Commerce. We got more coming up.
Have a good one.